Hello viewers, thanks for joining on another LeetCode problem solution session. In this video, we will solve add strings for 15. It's an easy problem in LeetCode, but it's one of the basic mathematical instruction you could understand from this problem. Look at the companies which asked this question. So you can see it's pretty popular questions. Meta asked 19 times, TikTok 4 times, Google 2 times in the last 3 months. And in last 6 months, Amazon asked 3 times. So it's pretty popular problem, although it's an easy problem. So few key things. So we are given two numbers, number 1, 1 and number 2, 1, 2, 3. Both are in string format, right? And we want to sum up these two numbers to find the results. So basically 11 and 1, 2, 3, we want to add it 1, 3, 4. As you read through the problem descriptions, you see there are some interesting restriction how you can use this or solve this problem basically. You can't just convert it as a number from the string using library method and then just sum it up, right? There's one way to do it, but that's not the exact way the problem was designed to solve, right? So what they want, if we are given a large string means it will not be fit inside the memory size of integer or long integer, how we will do this, right? So let's take a look at the examples and also try to figure out actually from the string part, how can we find the results? So we are given two numbers. So as you can see from the screen, so we have 1, 1, right? And another number is 1, 2, 3. And both are is in a string format. So, and we don't want to convert it to a number. So we want to use the string format to figure out how to find the results. So if you want to find the results, two things to remember, right? So we will start from the right side. So we have 1 and here 3, right? And if we use the mathematical notation, if we want to sum it up like 1, 1, 2, 3 as a number, you can see we want to use this 1 and 3 and find the sum. So basically 4. So you get 4 here. And then 1 plus 2 is 3 and 1. Finally, we want 1, 3, 4 as a string. So whatever we did, we want to do it using math notation. So for first these numbers, so this is a character from this first string, right? And this 3 is another character from second string. So we'll start from the right side for both the numbers. And then what we want to do, we want to get this value. And if we consider a temporary sum like t sum, which can start with 0 first, right? What we want to do in the temporary sum, we want to add these two number 1 and plus 3, and we get the 4. And we want to take another variable like c, which would be carry. For now, this carry would be 0 because the sum is actually less than 10, right? But what will happen, just think about what will happen if we want to add something like 5, 7, and maybe 6 and 8, right? So if you add these two numbers, 7 and 8, you will have 15, which would be in the t sum. But when you have 15, you will only write 5 here. So basically, you are writing the value, which is t sum mod 10. And you get one carry, which would be basically t sum integer division 10. So which you get 1, right? So this c will actually add it to here in the next iteration. And now when you are trying to add this value, your t sum becomes 1 plus 5 plus 6, right? So 5, 6, 11, 1 is 12. So you have 12 here. Again, for 12, you only write 2 here. And in the C, you get another 1. And when you have 1, you basically want to write 1 in the left side. So that's how you get the total sum results. So if we can use this format, we'll be able to carry out the sum. A few key things to remember: how we want to generate the results. One way to basically do it as a list. So as a result, you can do result array. But the problem is that finally, since you are adding in the right side, so your result would be something like 4, 3, 1, and then you need to reverse it, right? That's one way to do it. But I will use different approach. I will use a DQ, which you can add to the left side. So basically, when we are adding the values, we basically add 4 and then 3 in the left side and 1 in the left side, right? So in the DQ, you can add left with order 1 time. So that's the data structure we will use, so that we don't need to reverse it and we can still add it to the left side. So yeah, let's go through and implement this one. Let's see how we can approach this problem and solve this one. And let's go ahead and implement this algorithm. So at first, the base case is if we are given an number which is only both are empty string, then we can just use return an empty string. So if not num1 and not num2, you can basically return an empty string, because the result will be an empty string. Now we need temporary sum. So temporary sum and carry we'll put as both as 0, starting with 0. And we need two variable to go through the loop. So we can put I and j. So which would be len num of 1 minus 1 len num of 2 minus 1. And we'll use a DQ so that we can add it to the left. And DQ is a data structure from collections. And we want to run this loop as long as our I is greater than 0 or j is greater than 0. So we haven't adjusted all the numbers from the string. So now at first, our tsum start with carry, because you see in the next time when we are adding this 1, it will add this one at the beginning. So, but initially carry was 0, so tsum start with carry, right? So now, if our I is greater than or equal to 0, that means I can add this tsum number from this num1 of I. And one interesting thing, you need to convert it to an integer. So in Python, you can just convert it to an integer like this. And since we already use that value, we'll just put I minus equal to 1. Same thing for j is greater than or equal to 0. We want to do tsum plus equal to int num of 2 j, and do j minus equal to 1. And then we want to append left the value what we received. And this should be, we want to convert it to a string of this tsum, but as you can see, what we wrote, tsum mod 10. So we will mod this number with 10. Then we'll add it there, and we'll update the carry as well. So carry would be basically tsum, temporary sum, and then integer division of 10. And when we are outside of this loop, if our carry is still 1, we want to append that value to the left as a 1. And this will be also as a string, right? And after that, our DQ will have something like this 1, 3, 4. So if you want to find the string together, we'll join these numbers. So you can just do return as an empty string. We'll just join these all the values from the DQ. Yeah, that should be it. So let's try to run it and let's see if there's something wrong. Yep, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and submit it and then talk about the runtime complexity. Okay, so it got accepted. So let's talk about the runtime complexity for this problem. So for this problem, what we did basically going through the numbers list, I plus j, and this while loop actually will go through the numbers, whatever. So if we have I and j, both are something like, so let's write here. So for both the numbers, right? So if we have something like m and n size, you basically max of m or n. So because you're going to the while loop, and so if m is greater than n, so basically if you take the max number and then order of that one, that's how many times we are going through this while loop. We use some of the temporary variables, I, j, and t, sum, and c. Those are only 4. So our runtime complexity would be order of basically max of m comma n, which is basically order of n, right? And then for the space complexity, we use few constant storage, so order of 1. And we use DQ, and DQ is a list structure which would be order of n, but we are using as a so this is for the temporary variables. And for DQ, we are using we might have m plus n numbers maximum of these two, right? So this will be order n as well for the DQ. So both the space complexity and time complexity would be order of n if you consider this DQ as a storage space. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.